Little Plain Chat wants to know when Super Chexx is coming back. Maybe when Luke stops being a p***.
I thought you were going to say when he gets good.
I mean, that's an option too.
That's a bit of a problem as well. But it's another medicine night for the birds.
Yeah.
This is the second last one.
I know.
Tomorrow is the last day.
The last couple of times I beat him pretty bad, and Luke's mad because I started watching the tape.
Dude!
It wasn't a stream for you guys. It was a ploy to allow Linus to do homework.
He did the thing where, like, you know how, like, you go to your friend's place
sweaty man
on the first day that they buy Smash Bros. And it's all fun to play together, and then you come back over a month later and they've spent the whole last month just playing, so they're really good, and then you play them and it's like, this isn't fun anymore. We had this like decent back and forth for a long time. He was better than me, but I would win sometimes. It was all right, and then we played on a stream and he watched the tape and studied it. I'm not going to do that. There's grass to go touch.
Man. This man is like, so complicated. Dude. He's so competent at just learning a thing and then just destroying other people at it.
No. See, that's not the thing. Usually, it's this guy. I almost always beat him the first, like, 2 times we do something.
He picks it up and gets to a level, right?
After that, it's not even fun anymore because he absolutely slays me. Super Chexx is, like, the one game that I... No, not
it's
the one
not as
game.
bad as Linus describes. He's better at this stuff than he tries to claim.
It's pretty bad. Dude, Disc Jam?
Disc Jam was my game, dude. I wish that took off a little bit.
Disc Jam was pretty even for like maybe the first 5 games we played. And then after that, I got completely f***ed. Like, completely. Like, dude, I didn't even have a barrel to bend over. It was just me and the ground.
There was we played on the night before your yeah, why not? The night before your birthday.
Yeah.
We played tape to tape and you crushed.
Well, yeah, but you were so disinterested. I don't think I've seen anyone that disinterested since
that game 1v1 does not interest me.
Yvonne's usually interested.
That's good.
And you have no experience. You have no experience like playing single player hockey games.
No.
And so between tape to tape's logic for passing player control being a little funky,
legitimately throwing me off
being a little
bit.
funky, and also me having hours and hours in, it's been a while, but NHLPA 93.
It's been a long while.
NHLPA 93.
It's been like your whole life almost.
Yeah, but I have like hours and hours and hours and hours of playing like top-down view hockey game.
Right.
Where like it's like if someone played the 250, 350 hours of Quake 2, you know, and you drop them in an FPS against someone who didn't do that as a kid.
Johnny is still ridiculously good at Quake.
Exactly. Like it's just like it's natural for me. Whereas like you've obviously not done that. So
yeah. What did we play afterwards? Oh, yeah. I guess we're not really allowed to talk about that.
Yeah,
though.
we played that game that you're not allowed to talk about, but then some writer for The Verge talked about it, and then people were mad.
Yeah, so we played that game.
We played that game. We're not allowed to... Wait, you can talk about it now? Connor Linfoot says you can talk about it now.
It's public now.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't personally enjoy it.
Yeah. It seems like it's probably a good game.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's a great game
for incredibly sweaty people.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
You get to a point where you become an old dog at some point, and new tricks.
Like, I'm not going to learn all these champions. I'm not going to learn all these builds. I'm not going to learn where all the shops are, and there's this underground thing, and where that pops up, and how to know if someone's flanking you.
I'm not going to learn the best meta for exactly the right place to farm creeps or whatever else, whatever the common terminology is now for creep farming.
Denials and
like blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting here going like I'm not gonna know, you know, every support matchup on my team and like who should be paired up in which lanes, and you know, when I see a particular hero on the other side calling out to my team to switch play, whatever. Like I
think it's worse that
it's
some
not
people
going to
have been
happen.
Playing for like 3 or 4 months.
If I was one of the most fun times to play a game is when it first hits early access or whatever, and nobody has played it before.
Yes.
But it was very clear. We jumped into, I think, 2 rounds total.
Yeah.
2 or 3?
Two.
And it was very clear that not only were there players on the other team that had been playing this for months, like knew everything when we were sitting here coming in knowing nothing.
How do we jump on the rail thing, etc.?
And in fairness, I didn't play the tutorial, so that probably doesn't help. But either way, it was clear there was more of a gap than that. Not only that, but it was very clear that our team was getting queued up against groups of people that had been playing for months.
Yeah. Like in both games that we played, we didn't have a single lane that won, and there was not a lot of cross-lane ganking going on.
Yeah. Like Luke and I, in our second game, we were actually completely holding the line in the middle in our lane.
In the stat screen at the end of the game, we actually won the lane by a little bit. But then just got rolled because, I remember looking at the stats for that.
Buddy who was feeding so hard.
Yeah, we had 2 people that had 0 kills each, and both were in double digits for deaths. One of them had died, I think, like 15 times or something. One person on their team alone, just in killing blows, had like around 20, I think. And that guy was just untouchable. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. And
the snowballing in that game seems pretty intense from what I can tell.
And it's one of those things where I understand from like a toxic community perspective, you don't want to make it easy for people to abandon matches. So you want to penalize that kind of stuff. But in that game, at least the couple of rounds that we played, it was so obvious within like 7 minutes.
Oh yeah,
who was going to win?
And you can look at the chart.
Rest of it just feels like going through the motions, because once you are leveled up a little higher, you have more souls or whatever the terminology is. I don't care. I'm old. I'm going to hide behind that excuse. Once you're a little ahead, closing the gap seems really hard because the creeps are basically useless. Like, they don't do any damage.
The towers are also useless.
And the towers also seem pretty useless. I don't love the towers
being useless. That's a weird one to me.
And I can understand why for like a high level of competitive play, like for professional play, making it very heroes versus heroes, like the creeps and the towers are probably not going to be much of a factor at that level anyway.
But the towers are supposed to be area denial. It's not. It's supposed to.
They are for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they don't matter at all.
And then they just don't matter at all. But like, look, my only experience playing MOBAs is back when Dota was a mod for Warcraft 3. And so for me, I remember early game, until you're like very powerful, like going near the tower is basically a way to lose a 1v1, essentially.
Yeah, Pan Bish in Full Plane Chat said, you just need to play the game to learn it. That's a false impression that you cannot learn it. Dota was the same. It's a really complicated from the start and have a really high entrance ceiling. You're not old, you just don't have time. That's what we're saying.
Yeah. I don't have time.
His I'm old is I have other things going on in my life.
I'm just saying it in a really nice way.
Other than high school and video games. Just to be like transparent about what he's saying. We understand that. We understand it's the time. It's like I said at the beginning, it's probably really fun. It's just, it's going to take investment because there's a lot of heroes out of the gate.
Yeah.
And I do like, there's this system that I didn't know about where like when you're trying to buy items, I find the items in that game to be pretty bland and boring, especially with the coloring of the tiles and the very standard icons and stuff like that.
Right.
But you can view community builds in game and they have ratings. You can just take the like highest rated community build and just use that, that's kind of cool. That's helpful. And they can have like notes on them of like, buy this if you're getting wrecked by some tank. And it's like, okay, cool. I think that's pretty neat. But it's still like, yeah, I don't know. It'll be really good for people that spend tons of time on it. Just like League was, just like Dota was, all that type of stuff.
But the thing is, like, when I play video games, I have a couple hours to jump in. And then probably, some child will fall and scrape their knee or something. Like, I don't have a... Or like, dude, this week I was technically on vacation or whatever. I got called into Smash Champs like 6 times because we're getting really close to the end of construction.
It's gonna happen.
And the lighting guys were in the flooring guys' way, and then the flooring guys left, which I understand because I don't even blame them. But like, Then the lighting guy's engineer, they had to like fire their engineer because he wouldn't sign off on the thing, even though they like did it. Like, it's fine. So we had to like find a new one, and then we found a new one, but then he wanted them to add a whole bunch more seismic cables, and then the flooring guys ended up in the way of the lighting guys because they like left, and the lighting guys started going, and then the lines weren't in place for them to put things. So I've been on site probably somewhere between half a dozen and a dozen times this week, just like smoothing things over, getting people to talk to each other, like just yeah, it's been really stressful. And a bunch of people have contacted me from here as well because they need various things. I've been doing, ever since about a year ago, I've been doing QA for the vast majority of LTT videos. And it's like, I know I'm on vacation, but I think I'm still just going to do QA. I've ended up catching a lot of stuff over the last little while, more stuff than should. And we're working on processes and everything, but I was just like, no,
we do need to fix that.
Yeah, but in the meantime, I think I'm gonna be a final check and things to still get through from time to time, because believe it or not, I'm not perfect, but
yeah, and things will get through to you from time to time as well, but less should
ideally. So yeah, there's been a lot going on this week, man. It's been crazy. But it really, really does feel like, this one fly.
It landed on my nose, and my nose is so itchy now. It's driving me insane.
It really does feel like we are extremely close. It's been really interesting seeing the occasional, like, actually not even occasional, the pretty frequent like haters, especially on any videos about Smash Champs, talking about how it's like the stupidest thing ever, and like, do people even play badminton? I'm just like, you guys have no idea. The number of people that have approached us just randomly, like at the kids' school, just walked up and been like, hey, I heard, I'm sorry, who are you? I heard you're going to have, dude, it's going to be crazy. And the facility's coming together really nice. We actually have a video coming soon. Dan helped co-host it, and Jake was there, and a couple of the Smash guys, sort of demoed stuff. Like Raj there he's the only guy who knows how to use the vending machine. So I'm like, okay, Raj, show us how to use the vending machine. And I don't mean like how to buy something.
Yeah, no, I assume.
But like, he knows how to like load it and program the items and stuff. It's like just stuff I never thought about, right? And then Jake found a system for managing all of the Android-based TVs. So they're just TCL because Dan ran the numbers, and it was going to cost us.
Oh, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, if you could find. Basically, he'll bring it up in a sec, but he was basically like, yeah, so we could buy commercial displays, or we could just buy these TCL TVs from Costco, and we could replace them every year for X number of years, and that would be the same price.
Yeah.
So we bought a bunch of TCL TVs from Costco, and then we're sideloading this like management app on them, and Jake got it playing Crab Rave across all of the ones in the concession area when he was like goofing around with the CMS. So that's in the video.
Of course he did.
We're going to have a full video on the audio setup, just because we talked about the audio setup with Dante in one of the earlier updates, and you guys were all like, don't do it like that. And so Dan has put a ton of work into reconfiguring and then making some changes to the space to allow it to be like an actual like butt thumper of an audio setup. Like, we're not going to have subwoofers or anything like that. But it's gonna if we do a LAN and we decide to put on some music for like, you know, a floor game or something like that, I think we can get it going pretty decent in there. Like, I'm kind of excited. They're not big, they're not powerful, but there's a lot of speakers. Mm-hmm. Like, on the one side, Dan, there's what, like 10 speakers or something like that?
I think 4, 7, 8, 12.
Yeah.
13 speakers aside.
Yeah. Which is like, it's a big space. It's like 20,000 square feet. Yep. But that's a lot of speaker too. And a lot of small speakers can actually have a pretty good effect. So I'm excited.
It was $18,500 in TV, so you could replace every single TV in the building every year for 5 years.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
To be fair, they are professional level TVs, so They would last 30 years.
Sure.
Maybe. one of them
but
breaks.
you're not even
now
gonna want it.
Now you're out of you don't want it for
You're not going to want the same TV for that long anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
And if one of those TCLs breaks in 4 years, we can rip them all down, sell all the ones that aren't working anymore, get all new ones, and they'll be new.
Or the thing is, say somebody breaks one of them, right? It falls off the wall. You go to Costco, you have a new TV in an hour. You're 4-week lead time from some professional company, right?
Yeah. So maybe we'll regret it at some point when our TVs are dying left and right or whatever else, or maybe we won't. We'll see how it goes.
Though. Like it's
unless
most
they do.
TVs are fine. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they die. I mean, you saw Ratings' thing, finding all the TVs that were burning out at the bottom. Maybe we'll run them not too bright. Actually, Dan, can you make a note for the team to set them pretty dim?
Yeah.
Actually, that's probably an idea.
Ratings.
Yeah.
Okay.